Hi, I'm Elise and welcome to Which Way. Today's video is looking into the occult connections of the TV series Archive 81. Season 1 of Archive 81 was released early 2022 and stars Mamadou Athey as Dan Turner, Dina Shahabi as Melody Pendris, and Matt McGorry as Mark Higgins. In the present day, archivist Dan Turner is hired by a company to restore fire-damaged videotapes at a remote location. Through Dan's restoration process, we are introduced to Melody Pendris, the creator of the videos. In 1994, Melody is documenting the people and history of her new residence, the Visser apartment building, and she uncovers more than she bargained for when witnessing mysterious cult gatherings. But more than her videos, link our two protagonists and Dan, with the help of his friend Mark, now unravel the mysteries of Melody's story. And I look into the occult connections therein.
The Baldung. They're witches.
The Baldung, no doubt, get their name due to the famous engraving known as The Witches by Hans Baldung. Melody first associates this name with witches after seeing an image of a Baldung coven in an old book. The title page of this book has the same text as that of the Malleus Maleficarum, the 15th century witch hunter's guide by Heinrich Kramer, though you can see that the main title has been changed. The other book she looks through seems to be made up of pages from many other pieces. First, an 18th century frontispiece which accompanied the Lorenzo Lippi poem The Reconquered Malmatil. The title page looks very similar to that of this extremely lengthily titled occult catalogue piece from the 19th century by George Bumstead. Yeah, I'm immature. And finally, an engraving of the demon Boer from the 19th century Dictionnaire Infernal by Jacques Collin de Plancy. However, the next image seems to be purely fictional.
Entity known as Kalego.
Kalego does not appear in the Demon Dictionary. However, an image that does portrays a person holding a tuning fork, and this comes into play later on in the series. We first see these tuning forks during an auction catalogue piece at the introduction of episode 4. And I just had to know what from this collection was real, and quite a few were. I couldn't find much else on the tuning forks, but we have an engraving from the late 18th century portraying the stage magician Robertson's magic lantern show, also known as Phantasmagoria. Also, The Spirit World Unmasked by Henry Evans from 1896, and some beautifully hand-painted 19th century tarot cards. Melody is also seen getting a reading, but that tarot deck looks as though it has been created just for the show. But I wish it was real because it's absolutely gorgeous. And there was also this thing.
Object 7658B, bowl inlaid with human teeth.
I had to know if this was real, and according to the British Museum, something similar is. These wooden bowls inlaid with human teeth were used as scrap bowls to preserve Polynesian chieftains' bodily fluids and food scraps to prevent them from being used in sorcery. And finally, we come to this photograph.
Object 6758A, spirit photograph by William Mumler. The medium, Fanny Conant, and her lost brother, 1868.
This is indeed a photo by self-proclaimed spirit photographer William Mumler. Spirit photography pops up again later when Mark is looking into the organization known as the Voss Society.
Very Madame Blavatsky.
Helena Blavatsky was one of the founders of Theosophy, which is also mentioned alongside other real-world organizations.
He's thrown with those Agape Lodge guys in Los Angeles, Dabbling Mankind United, Theosophy, you name it.
I can't find much on Mankind United, but from what I can see, it sounds super racist. But Agape Lodge was a chapter of the OTO, or Ordo Templi Orientis, who followed Thelemic teachings. Of course, I'll link an Occult Confessions episode for more on that. I couldn't help looking into the information on Mark's Voss Society wall, and this rather interesting poster caught my eye, and I had to know where it was from. It turns out to be the cover of the 1859 book Spirit Rapping Exposed by Professor Anderson. Spirit rapping was a way of communicating with the spirits who answered via knocking, and was made popular by the Fox sisters, who pretty much kicked off the spiritualist movement. Of course, I'll link a few podcast episodes if you want to know more about them. Though instead of spirit rappings in this series, we see Melody attending a seance, another method of communicating with spirits also popularized by spiritualism. We find out that one of the people attending this seance is not quite who they claim to be, when later Melody discovers some of their aliases. Now, I might just be grasping at straws here, but I believe some of them may be inspired by occultists.
Alistair Spare.
This could be a combination of Aleister Crowley, a member of the aforementioned OTO, and Austin Osman Spare, the forefather of chaos magic.
Virgil Samuelson.
Virgil may also be a nod to the ancient Roman poet of the same name, and there's many legends that surround him, one of which he was a great magician, and Dante writes him in as a guide through hell in his Divine Comedy, though this is the name of another character in the show, so this could be me just looking into it a little bit too much. I loved the amount of real-world occult imagery that this series puts in. It scores for lore and history, and I highly recommend checking it out. It's actually based on a podcast of the same name, which in itself is a very different story, so also worth having a listen. Let me know what you thought of this series, or any other witchy recommendations for my future Occult Connections or Witch Lore reviews. Please, if you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe to my channel for future videos, and thank you very much for watching here on Witch Way.